Hi everybody, I am Sheila with CraftFancy and you are tuning into the hat trick card making class. I have Brian with me and Brian is going to check on the comments and questions and answer any comments and questions or field them toward me while we move along. Hey Brian.
Hey everyone, just here to answer questions and comments. So you might hear my voice in the background while Sheila's working. That way she can stay focused on the project. Other than that, I am not here.
Okay, so we're working with this one layered hat die from Memory Box. This came in your kit along with some homework. Hopefully you've pre-cut some of the pre-cuts that needed to be done so we can get through these 3 cards in the hour that we have. So starting with your card base, we're going to pull this red card base. This is the magic hat one, and you've folded it in these 2 spots so it opens this way. And what we want to do is we want to create a window on this side. So this is how we do it. I'm putting my circle die halfway down, or not halfway down, an inch down from the top. And because I wanted to cut this direction, right here, I'm going to put it on with a little bit of this non-stick, well it sticks, but restickable low tack tape so it doesn't shift when you put it through the die machine. So you're going to run it through your machine like this. Okay, put the mat on top. And it's going to come out and it's going to be like this. All right, don't get rid of this piece because we're going to use this piece. We'll do it right now. So what we want to create is what looks like a moon when the card is closed. So I'm going to adhere this half of the circle. Let me put this underneath so you can see it better. I'm going to adhere the half circle that we just cut just enough over so that I'm going to see a moon underneath. So let's do that. I will do that. I'm using my Easy Runner brand. Put that on that side. Make it the moon. I want to move it over a little more. Okay, and I've got my moon under there. Okay, next thing we're going to do in your kit, you have some magnets because this 3-fold will stay shut nicer with the magnets. Also, it gives that little magical snap. This is all about the magic for October coming up, and Halloween, and our fans of magic and all things magical and all things the mouse, I believe. So in your kit you have magnets and they came with their own adhesive. So pop those magnets out. Stick one on one side of the card. This is a double-sided sticky. They're real thin magnets, which is nice, perfect for card making. Okay, I'm going to put one on this side here. And you can see 2 of them have already stuck together. It might be hard to see because they're so tiny on the screen, but I'm going to put double-sided sticky on that one. This one. Stick it to this side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I take the sticky off this one, and press it down so we'll have it on the card. Okay. Placed where I want it. A little bit fiddly here, a little bit tricky. I would prefer to use a glue and let it dry, a really nice strong glue and let it dry. But for the sake of time, we're just going to use the adhesive that it came with. Okay, so that shows me exactly where those should be. And we're going to put our sentiment. I don't know if you pre-cut your sentiment. We're going to pre-cut our Have a Magical Day. Hopefully you've done that. We're going to put that right over the magnets. So it's hidden in there. Okay, there we go. All right, I have written instructions, and I'm referring to those, so hopefully it doesn't get confusing, and I'm going in the order of the written instructions. So we're cutting the circle for the mouse head. So for the mouse head, you should have a circle. I don't know if you pre-cut this. I'll give you a minute to do that. You have that pre-cut. And then 2 smaller circles, here and here. Okay, I'm going to place them before I glue them. I want to make sure that that black circle right there shows through my halfway, because that's the most important placement there. Okay, so that's where I want the placement to be. Are there any questions, comments, anything coming up, Brian? Because I want to give people time to cut their circles if they didn't do it yet.
Sure. While they're there, I'm showing that Laura Hood is saying that's very clever. It was about the magnets, I believe. It was at that point. We have a couple people joining us a little later. Jane Bullinger is on YouTube saying that it's 74 days until I visit the mouse.
Oh, yay.
So, and that's pretty it. Everyone, and then Marion Colin saying it's very cool.
Love the mouse.
So you can't miss out on that.
This is a hidden Mickey. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start working on the outside of the card now. I've cut, this doesn't have to be exact. This is for my magic wand piece. Let me hold it over the red so you can see it. It's 1/4 inch by 2 1/4, 2.5 inches. Doesn't have to be exact. This is the piece I'm going to use for the wand right here. Okay. And I'm going to take 2 of my star stickers that came in your kit. There are 3 different sizes. Choose a size that's the same on both sides. Don't use the plastic ones. Use the foamy ones, because otherwise it's going to give us too much dimension. And I'm going to stick one on one side and on the back side. And that's so it doesn't stick to my cardstock when we adhere it. So I put one on the front and one on the back. Okay.
While you're doing that, Nancy Rossi does love the magnets as well. And Cindy Graham is saying that she also likes the way that you covered the magnets.
Yeah. So it's like magic, especially if you're giving this to like a little one for a birthday card. It's truly going to be magical. You could also choose to cover the magnets on this side, maybe cut a couple moons or stars and cover the magnets with paper. It will still have a magnetic effect if you put paper over it on both sides. So that could be kind of fun if you're giving it to littles.
I have a question for you. The
Sure.
magnets that we used, are those the Tonic Studios small craft magnets?
Yes, they are.
All right, awesome. People are asking, and I just want to make sure I can get the link out there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to glue my wand so it comes across the bottom of the moon here. And I'm using a liquid glue. Everyone have their preference of liquid glues. Right now, I have open Cosmic Shimmer Flake and Glitter Glue, and I also have Art Glitter Glue. I like glues on cards because they will stay stronger and longer. But for the sake of time today, I am using some non-liquid glues. Okay, so here comes the trick part. We're going to make the hat. We're using the same die for all of these different designs. When I looked at this, when I saw this die, I just had all kinds of ideas for how to use different parts of it. And I think that's something that we tend to not do with our dies. We'll use it for one thing and that's it. But if you look at all the different shapes that you can get out of your dies, you can use them more for more things. So the die is supposed to go this direction, but for this hat, I needed it tilting the other direction. So I flipped my cut the other way around. Okay, I flipped the cut, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the little swirl off the top, and I'm going to trim the brim. It looks kind of like a feathered brim. I'm going to trim that brim. I've made a large diagram just in case you can't see that close. So here's the cut. Here's where we're trimming right here. We're rounding that off, and we're trimming the feathers here. Okay. So I'm just going to come in round.
You want me to zoom in a little on that?
Yeah. And yes, it's a little bit of fussy cutting. What's the trick to fussy cutting? Turn the paper. Turn the paper. Feels better when you turn the paper. And keep, oh no, we're going to use a purple swirl. Never mind about keeping the swirl, but you might use the swirl on something else. So sometimes I keep my little parts because it gives you more ideas. All right, now I have my sorcerer hat. A little bit different than a witch hat. Let's decorate the sorcerer hat. You have a moon on the same page as your sentiments. And again, we're going to cut that out. We're cutting it by turning the paper. You could also use a yellow circle, punch it out, or die cut it out if you don't like the fussy cutting part.
Nancy Rossi's saying, what a great idea for so many different ways to use this.
So many ways.
Laura Hood's complimenting you. Sheila, you're a very good instructor.
Thank you, Laura. That's really nice because I'm new today, so I'm a little nervous. I want to do a good job and be clear and teach you guys something fun. So I've got the moon on my sorcerer hat now, and I'm going to use the smaller stars to decorate our sorcerer hat. Here we go. And I'm going to adhere this, but we're going to pop it up with some foam. Do I have dots or squares today? I have dots. Dots or squares. I know a mom who would make sandwiches for her kids, and she would cut them into 4, and she would say, squares or diamonds. And she cut them the same. If you think about it, if they asked for diamonds, she just trimmed them on the plate. And the kids thought they were getting something different. It's really cute. So just reminding me of that, because circles or squares, whatever you have to pop. You might have a full sheet. We're going to pop this hat up off the page. Put it right there. Okay. So now we have our sorcerer's hat. And the only thing left is adding our little bling. You have a small packet of bling. If you want more of this style of bling, this is a Pink Fresh Studio. And these are glitter drops, and they're gold. This is one of the reasons I like using this. It's easy in my hand, and I can do some tiny drops. And this glue, it dries sticky. So I can let it dry a little bit and then come back and put my bling on. I don't have to do it, and it won't be sloshing around on wet glue, which sometimes the tiny bling does. I have a jewel picker here. It was pretty quick putting on bling. Some magic sparkle on here. I have not been to see the mouse in a few years now, but it's on my list. I would love to bring grandchildren. That's on my list too, but I think it has to be on my children's list first. Okay. A couple more going here. Bling. I'm slushing a little bit.
Good.
Yes?
Your head's in the camera.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
It got tiny and I had to lean in. Thank you for letting me know, Brian.
Well, I kept trying to zoom in and then.
Okay, sorry. You saved me here.
Goes to show you, no matter how professional we are, we're always still human. So can't hide the heads.
Okay. All right. So you should have your hidden mouse card there, ready to go. That's our first trick. Okay, so that was the easiest trick. The next one is going to get trickier. When I'm doing a series of cards like this, even if I'm doing someone else's sets or kits, which I love to do, I put them in all the components in a separate envelope, which helps me keep everything organized. So here are the components. We're doing this one next. This is the crystal ball. Look into your future. Your future looks bright. You can put any sentiment on there. You can put a happy Halloween. You can do a congratulations. So we give you time to finish up the other card, and I'll just tell you what we're working with here. You have your blue card base, and I call these toppers because they're going to go on the card base. So you should have a black glitter topper, and you should have a white topper.
All right. Hey, actually, while we're letting them finish them up, I was wondering, can you take a couple seconds and
yes, absolutely.
Talk about this class? How did you come up with the idea for this class?
I was walking around the store getting ideas, which I know we've all done, walked around the booth, walked around the store, and I saw the die, and the little swirl on top of this die reminded me of one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite movies. Am I allowed to say that? I think I'm allowed to say the name of the movie, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Jack Skellington, and it reminded me of the top of the mountain, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So there we go. And I thought, I wonder, could I do a Skellington card? What could I do out of that? And I started playing around with it. And when I open the die, it looks like it's just one piece, but it actually cuts 3 different pieces. So it cuts the base hat piece, and it cuts what I call a shadow. Let me grab the shadow from the other kit so you can see what I'm talking about, because we'll be working with the shadow, the last kit.
So while she's looking for that, and we're just looking at the top of her head, I was going to cut to me and say, guys, there are still kits available on the CraftFancy site. That's www.craftfancy.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at it really quick, which is probably not right here. Hold on, you're looking at me. That's a handsome looking guy. But be sure to check that out. Right there, you just got to go to shop, go down to where it says custom cards and scrapbooking kits. Be sure to check that out. That is the Hat Tricks Plus a Class kit. That is $26. Kits are still available. Throw that in your bag, and you'll be able to get do the class on your own. Be able to watch the videos because everything's not only live, but it is also saved on YouTube and on Facebook. So whatever you guys check out, be sure to check out some of the other things there too. We have tons of specials. We always have new products and everything from rhinestones to waffle flowers to 12x12s tools. Everything you could possibly need, all available at the CraftFancy site, www.craftfancy.com. 365, 24/7. Don't delay. Get your order in today. Back to you, Sheila.
Okay, so I was talking about the die and how it doesn't just have the one piece. So sometimes you want to get in there and look. It has 3 different pieces. It has what I'm calling the basic hat face, but it also has a piece that's like a shadow on the hat, and you'll see how that works later. And it also has a hat brim. So this tiny little piece in here. And when you start playing around with these pieces, there's a lot you can do with them. Because the last card will take the longest, it's why I'm hustling a little bit through the first 2, because I know the last one's kind of tricky. So hustling a little bit. All right. So we're going.
We got plenty of time. I'll give you time checks right now.
Awesome.
So it is 11:39 Central Standard Time. You do have till 12:15.
So you can put the glitter base on.
And then what type of adhesive are you using?
I'm using the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L Easy Runner Grand. I love how ergonomic it is. It's really lightweight, and it's so easy to refill because you just plop it open and you plop the cartridge right in. And you can use all the different types of glue. You can use the dots or the runners or the permanent with the one apparatus. So that's just nice.
Speaking of that, not to make it sound like an info commercial right now, because you just dawned on me. We are all stocked up again on the refills for those guns. So if you're interested, it's red, blue, green, and whites. We have them all in stock. Go ahead, stock up on those at the CraftFancy site. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. So what we're doing now is we're going to use the swirl off the top of the hat. And again, we're going to flip these over this direction. Okay. And here's the diagram. So we're cutting the swirl off the top. You'll notice a little niche in your cut piece. That's where I'm cutting straight across. So I'm cutting straight across here and here. You might use the brims for something else later. We'll talk about that later. And we're going to have one swirl up here. And we're going to put one swirl down here. Don't stick them on yet, because this swirl goes over our sentiment. So why don't we put that sentiment on next? And we want this here. We want it just above, slightly over. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to stick this down.
Myra is saying that she loved it. She said that is right about the movie. Great tip that she loved it. When you were talking about the inspiration of the cards, she's also looking at the die now in a whole different way.
Yes. So there is a way to do the Jack Skellington's Mountain at the top of this. And that was a lot of fun to think about and play around with.
And Linda Lanning on YouTube is saying that it's a great card, that she loves it. And Stephanie J is giving you the fingers crossed with the winky smile.
That's cute. Okay, now I want the little swirl inside the crystal ball. We are going to use parts of this purple hat later. So don't discard it. Again, just put it to the side. You can discard it later if we don't use it. But I'm putting a little swirl inside my crystal ball. So I'm just going to cut the top of this off here. Okay. I think I'm using that later, because I want that to go inside my crystal ball. This is your shaker card, by the way. That's where my shaker is going to go. You might want to trace around it with a pencil, because then it'll help you place your items before you put the shaker down. So let me get a pencil. I'm going to use this pen. And I'm going to trace around. Put some little dots at least, 4 corners. And I know where to place my things. I'm going to put this tiny little swirl in the center of my crystal ball. I also want a couple stars inside my crystal ball. So here, one here, decorate it however you see fit. This is your work. Play with it. Okay, now how do we make the outside of the shaker card? I first cut a circle. I'm going to get a piece of white paper for you to see this on. Any white? Anybody? Here we go. So first, you're cutting a 2, is it 2.5 or 2 1/4? I have to look at my instructions again. Circle. And then you're cutting a smaller circle inside of that circle. And then that's how you get the outline for the shaker. Okay, again, you're cutting a circle that's slightly larger than your shaker filler. And then you're cutting another circle out of the inside of it. You can use this for a mouse head or something else, or a moon later. And this makes my outline of my shaker. Okay. So I've done the background of the inside of the shaker. I'm checking the instructions again, just so I can kind of go. Okay. So I have 2 hat bands from those 2 hats that I cut. And if I overlap them, it makes the base of my crystal ball. These are 2 hat bands. They're wider on the left side than the right side when you cut them. So I'm flipping one over. And I'm going to glue one on top of another to make the base of my crystal ball. So this is our little hat band trick here. This will be the base of my crystal ball. Now this shaker filler is so much fun. There are little teeny tiny, there's stars and some crystals and some bats in here. And while you are getting the shaker filler out, pull out 1, 2, 3, pull out 5 little bat pieces, because you're going to want those on your next card. So just push 5 little bat pieces aside and you'll have them for the next card. Those are going to be the buttons on the boots. I have used shaker filler as embellishments on this card also. It's a little tedious, but it really matches nicely. It looks nicely on there. All right, now I'm going to put my shaker filler down. Go inside that crystal ball. Keeping it inside the circle that you drew. Okay. I'm going to use the glue around the outside of the shaker now. Just the glue. This one you definitely want to glue because we don't want all those little shaker pieces coming out and sticking everywhere. And we'll put that outside of the filler. Oops. There we go. I'm just tapping it to make sure that it's going to do its thing. Okay. Move this up a bit. I'm going to put my base on now. Here. And then I'm going to put on the top the black glitter rim around the crystal ball. You could also put a message inside that crystal ball for somebody. Again, we're thinking, you know, magical. A little one would wonder, how did you get my name in there? Or, you know, happy birthday, Susie Q. Or maybe the number of how old they are inside there. Yes, this is a little crooked. Okay, so we've built our shaker, crystal ball shaker, using pieces of the hats and some circles. I'm going to use glue to put the topper on the glitter card base because glue works best on top of glitter. It's just better. The dry adhesive doesn't tend to stick to the glitter as well. I have not cleaned this up.
Diane Kurtz is saying that she will look at all dyes differently. Great ideas.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad. Because you can just get that much more creative when you're looking at the shape rather than what it is. Just flip it around, upside down, sideways. Look at the shape. Okay, and then we're using...
So just to let you know, you're at 1150 now. Central Standard.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a couple of embellishments using some of the shaker filler because I like just tying that in to the card. And these ones are tiny, so I'm using a tweezer. Put these little tiny stars down. Love these like little stars. I'm only using stars on this one and not bats because that's the theme of this card is more of a birthday type theme. And not so much of a Halloween theme for me personally. But it'd be a cute little Halloween trick-or-treat card too. Okay. There we go. And that's your trick number 2.
Awesome, awesome.
And we're moving right along. This one's going to take a little bit longer. Or maybe not. We'll see. Now you get the idea of how we're using these dyes differently. This dye differently. This might go together quickly. We'll see. So let's pull out your next red vase.
While you're doing that, and let me jump in real quick. I just want to ask everyone, how's everyone liking the project so far? My question for you right on the comments for me is Sheila good? Should we keep her or should we throw her back into the pond? Just let us know in the comments. Do you guys like our teaching style? Or if you don't like something about it, let her know. So that way she can improve as well. So just let me know in the comments. Let's go. The jury's out. Do we keep Sheila or do we throw her back to the fishing pond? Let us know. All right, back to you, Sheila.
Okay. Okay, so I have, I stuck my topper down to my card base.
Oh boy, comments are rolling in already.
Hopefully they're good.
She's a keeper. She's definitely a keeper.
Yay.
Love it. Love the shaker card. Great projects. She is so creative. Love her voice. She's a keeper. She's a keeper. Love, love, love Sheila. Sheila is
so
easy
much love.
to listen to and enjoying her style and her cards. She is awesome and a great teacher.
You guys are the best.
Live the out of the box. Oh, love the, it was supposed to be love, but love the out of the box use of the dies. This has made me want to buy a shaker card. I have been hesitant about trying, but this is
so
special.
Easy.
This is a great demo. Definitely a keeper. She thinks outside of the box with her ideas.
Absolutely.
Anytime someone can show me how to get more for my dollar invested in dies, I'm happy. Great presenter. Needs a raise. Don't you dare get rid of Sheila. There we go. You guys are rocking it, man. Keep Sheila. She's great and so creative. So
I'm feeling the love.
How about that, huh? See, you just got to ask the right questions, I guess.
So I'm not sticking this first hat die down. Thank you, everybody, first of all. I'm not sticking this first hat die down because it's going to overlap something, but I'm building it just to show you how to build. This is the way the die, I believe, is meant to be built. The hat, and then the shadow of the hat, and then the hat band, and then I've added one of our little yellow stars on there. So I'm building this hat. I'm going to put it aside. I'm not going to put it down yet because it overlaps something. So I'm just going to build the hat itself. And yes, I am going a little quickly because, I have a lot I want to show you and get it in on the time that we have here with you today. So you can always go back and watch later. All right, so I built my hat. I'm going to put it to the side. All right, here comes the tricky part. So we're going to make these cute little witch boots. This is what we're going for here. And how did I do this? Well, look at this. This red hat right here is where the boot was built from. Okay? And the heel, this part, I used one of these shadows to build the heel. So we take this hat and we're going to trim it right above the crease. It has 2 creases in there. I'm going to trim it right above the crease. Now I have my witch boot toe. We're going to do 2 of those. Okay. Now I'm going to do the heel. Now again, the heel is die cut this way, but we want it going this way because it's the way we want the boots to go. It's my heel piece. I'm going to trim it off at the 2nd crease. It just makes it easier to glue down. And I'm also going to trim off this whole toe part. I don't need this whole toe part. So I'm going to trim that off. Okay, and that is the heel of my boot. See that?
While you're putting together, you just blew the audience away. I'm not going to read all the comments, but they just love your boot idea.
It's all about the shoes, Brian.
I got wild. Yeah, I guess so. It's wild creative thinking.
It's all about the shoes.
Yes, never would I have seen a witch boot out of that die. Incredible.
And you just turn it upside down.
You're just hearing a boom.
Boom. Yeah. That's right.
I guess this would be called a mic drop.
This is our card. This is called Hat Tricks because we literally are doing tricks with this hat. How fun is that? And sometimes it's not even about, am I making this card for somebody? It's, hey, we are just having fun building this and, having some me time being creative.
Me time.
Creativity time. I'm gonna build this on the white background so you can see it better. Okay. Now I used a little bit of the black to do a boot topper. You could use glitter. But where are the black boots? Oh yeah, here we go. We got one glitter, one black. So I'm going to do exactly what we did with the red, but I'm going to cut it higher. So now your boot will have a shadow and a cuff on it. There's the shadow and the cuff, the boot. So I'm offsetting it just a little bit, so a little bit of the black peeks out. I've got glitter on one and a plain one on the other one. Should have thought much further ahead and done 2 glitter ones, but it's all about practicing, learning the technique, learning the tips, and then go crazy on it yourself. Maybe you want to do these in orange and black. I happen to love purple. I wanted to integrate the purple, which looks really nice with the red. Okay. And now here come those little bats from the shaker filler. We're going to use those as our buttons. They make the sweetest little buttons on here. I'm doing 3 buttons on one and only 2 on the other one. Why am I doing only 2 on the other one? Because it's going to be underneath this hat. It's going to overlap, so you wouldn't see it anyway. So I'm just going to do 2 little bat buttons on one side and 3 on the other. And I probably should have built my hat with glitter, but there you are. We are all human. Best intentions. Okay. Back down.
Oh, even YouTube got in on the action. Laura Lanning is saying definitely a keeper.
Awesome.
Comments are still flowing in.
That's great. Oops. Okay. Okay. So when these are dry, adhere these down to your topper, and I'm going to pop the hat. I'm going quickly because I promised you a trick as well. For all of our, do we have some Potter fans out there? I think we do. We have some Wizard School fans. That's going to be your treat today. We promised you a hat trick and a treat. So, here we go. This slightly overlaps the boot. And got my sentiment. And we can put the whole thing on the base. I don't want to flip it over right now because it's not quite dry. Let's do this. Okay, so there's your card number 3. Remember, you can always go back and watch. I'm going to hold up a diagram of how to cut the heel in case you need to come back and take a look at it later. Okay, here's how we cut the heel. I cut this part out, and I cut this off, and I just use this part as the heel. Okay? All right, so those are our 3 cards. Now, here comes our treat. So what other things can we do with this hat die? I use the brim a lot. Okay, this is a brim. We made a quill. This is 2 pieces of a brim. One's flipped. We've made our snitch. You can make a broom with a piece of the shadow. Okay, this part of the shadow and part of the brim. And you've got your little owl post, your postage owl, your delivery owl. These 2 pieces are the shadow. One's facing one way, one's facing the other way. These 2 pieces are the hat brim. Okay, these right here, hat brim. And we've got a little owl post on there. So take a look at your dies, see what you can do with them. I'm loving this hat die because you can do all kinds of shapes with this, even beyond what you're seeing here. Play with it, email us, show us what you've done. We'd love to see what you've done. And I think we've completed our 3 cards.
Okay. It's only 12:03, so what do we do?
Okay, so do we have questions out there? What other kinds of cards would you like to see in the future? I would love to know, would you like to see scrapbook pages? Would you like journals? Would you like mini books? What kinds of things are you looking to make? Let me know. Do you have any answers?
No, but I'm going to chime in here too. So This is where I need people to help us help you. So Sheila, are you here free or are you paid?
I am paid.
So Sheila is one of those instructors that comes in and she's showing you the ideas, and we have to weigh. From a big bad business guy now, I have to come in and say, how do I know that Sheila's reaching her customers? Mm-hmm. It's by the love and support that you guys show her. Just like these, you're watching our presentations. I can tell all the customers support CraftFancy. But that's how we do it. That's how we watch stuff. So if you guys like to watch this, then you guys want to be able to show the love and support back to CraftFancy, because your generosity and continued support is what keeps us going live. Do I not sound like a PBS commercial right now? So
I'm seeing a lot of loving mini books,
yes,
scrapbook pages. Okay.
Yep. So these are stuff that people and Sheila's very. When I found Sheila, or when Sheila found us, or however it worked out, we sat down and we went over stuff. She is tremendous with, if you watch one of the earlier videos, we showed some of the sample. She is tremendous with scrapbooking and journal books and mixed media. Is it considered mixed media?
Some of them are. Yeah.
Some of them are, yeah. So she's really talented in that, and I want to see if you guys are interested in wanting to see some of that stuff.
Yes, and I'm seeing scrapbook layouts using dies. Yes, I have that. That is my next project I'm working on.
Awesome. So this is the kind of stuff that I want. I don't, and we kind of talked with Sheila. So I got Carol kind of working on cards, but I want Sheila to be able to work on the other stuff. So that way everyone can horn in on their special skills and be able to give you, the customer, what you're looking for. But again, I'm only looking at a camera. What are you looking at, Sheila?
I'm looking at you on the camera.
On the camera. Yeah.
So I'm looking at how can we use our dies for crossover projects like mini albums and scrapbooks. And we have so many really cool dies at this store. When I'm not working here, I'm wandering around looking at what project I can work on next. So yes, lots of cool scrapbook pages and mini albums using dies in the future.
And that's it too. Not to get off on a side conversation, but again, if you guys are local within the Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, whatever, if you're a scrapbooker, card maker, or journal people, or whatever it is that you do that's paper crafting, you definitely want to take a stop into the CraftFancy store, wander around. Like Sheila just said, you get lost in here. You can spend hours just walking around looking for ideas. And we know you can't buy the whole store at one time. That's why we're always offered online, and we're always available coast to coast for everybody as well too. Again, stressing back to Sheila again, it's just you getting the ideas here. They're asking, do you have a blog? Do you have a blog?
I don't currently have a blog.
Yep. So right now you're just doing everything through the CraftFancy sites.
Absolutely.
Yep. So Minora, you definitely want to just tune into the CraftFancy stuff.
Myrna.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Myrna?
Yeah.
Myrna? Oh, okay. All right. Well, everyone knows I'm horrible with names, so I'm sorry, and I hope she doesn't get offended by that. So please know I'm sure I just suck with names. And
wander around on the website and looking at the different dies and looking at them upside down and sideways and, oh, gee, how can I use those flowers on a scrapbook page? Maybe you're doing a page, maybe you're doing a spring or a wedding shower. There's all kinds of really beautiful things. And if you're using a similar die on every page or a similar flower on every page. There's all kinds of dies with that flower, and it ties the whole book together, rather than using something different on each page. Just tie the book together where it flows nicely, and yeah.
Excellent. The other thing I just really want to talk about again, I just want to make sure if you're tuning in, please, Sheila's going to be going back through these comments later. She's going to be getting you guys give her the inspiration, give her the leads. I saw Slimline cards up there from Joanne. There's just tons of ideas that you guys got. Throw them out there. Sheila, that's going to give her the inspiration to come back with the classes that you guys want to see. Again, we can come up with cards. Sometimes it's just throwing darts at a board. You either like the style or you don't, or I think again from the comments that we got a good presenter here. She's got awesome presentation skills. I think she was detailed today in her presentation by doing even the enlarged things, the enlarged photos to be able to show where the cuts are. So I think we got a good winner here. And again, it was one die. It was one die, and you guys can do it.
Lots of tricks.
And that die's not even that expensive. So guys, it's something in the art. So
one die and some circles.
I'm gonna throw the guy thing in there.
Okay.
Do me a favor, put that third card out there. Let's go to that overhead really quick.
Yeah.
Which one? Third this one. Get those two. No, get the two on the right out of there. Two on the right out of there. No. Take that.
They're on my right.
Take the shoes with the hat.
Yeah.
Get that out of there.
Okay.
Now get the pop-up one out. The red one. The red one. Thank you. Okay. Now take take a white piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I want you to cover up the top and then just the globe. Go down, go up, stop. A little more. Okay, there. All right. This is what I wanted to say. I know this is a witch hat, but with Christmas, let me get this up here. Take a look at this. With Christmas right around the corner, tell me that's not an elf shoe.
It's absolutely an elf shoe.
Tell me that's not an elf shoe.
Yes, it's an elf shoe.
Tell me that's not an elf shoe.
This actually, if you did this in green and red, how cute would that
tell
be?
me that is not an elf shoe.
And it's also an elf hat.
And it doesn't tie in with Elf on the Shelf.
You take off the twirly at the top and you trim it up a little, similar to this. And you've also got your elf hat. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And a snow globe.
And the snow globe. There you go. You got a whole Christmas. See how you can we're just sitting there knocking out ideas.
Absolutely. And the circle dies are just a staple. Circle dies and square dies, use them all the time. They are a staple for me for everything.
Yes.
So make sure you've got your, this one is layered circles. You've got all different sizes in there. So.
Yep. When we put all the products we use today, we put the links in the comments. Be sure to check that out.
Yeah.
Now the ideas are flowing. Octopus tentacles. We got lizard's tail.
You can do your Ursula with that. Absolutely.
Guys, that just from a hat, just the simple dies get ahead. That shows you that this memory box die is something that you need in your arsenal.
And look at this. Someone told me, one of my friends, look at that. Does that look like the top of one of the evil witches' hats right there?
Oh yeah,
sure does. A bat.
That's
just play around with the pieces. Have kids cut them out for your kids or grandkids or whatever, and have them play with the pieces. Look at that.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're wrapping up, and then the one last thing that I like to do when I work with my dies, I don't know how you do it, Sheila, but when I work with my dies, when I get a die like this one, okay, I just watched this video and I got 1,001 ideas about how I can use this one hat in a lot of different ways. What I like to do is when I order my die from CraftFancy and it's shipped to you and it's there, what I do is I take a little blank piece of paper, and then what I do is I write all the different ideas down that I can make with that die, and then I put it into the back of my die. So that way when I'm looking for something, because what happens is 3 months down the road, I bought 7 other dies. I have 3,000 other ideas floating around and I can't remember nothing. But what I do is I write down what else I can do with that die. So when I go and I'm going like I need a mustache or I need tentacles or I need something, it's like not everyone's got the scan and cuts and they just go. I want to be able to do something quick on the fly.
Yeah.
That's why I keep stuff on the back and I can kind of scroll around. and I keep them separate. If I got a multi-use die, I keep them in a separate container. So that way, when I'm looking for something and I don't know what I'm looking for, which never happens, right? That you're able to scroll through and take a look at that.
Great idea.
Yep, just a little
I'm
organizational
using
skill.
that idea.
Hey, I'm just a guy that scrapbooks. What can I say? Huh? Apparently I don't even scrapbook anymore because I just sit here plugging computer. Oh, I got to get out here one of these. I'm telling you, I get the itch watching you guys. All right. Hey, guess what? I think we're out of time, Sheila.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to let you wrap it up. I didn't mean to interrupt on your whole class.
No. I love the idea.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
It's called brainstorming. We love it. We love it.
So,
and now I'm going to go back home and get the Christmas papers out and play around with this and do some elves.
Yep. So I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone, from all the common side. And that just leaves you.
It was so nice being here, and I'm feeling the love and the gratitude, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. What is that? It?
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.